Welcome back, everyone, here to East Texas Now. We have today's vet project push, and I'm so excited because we get to talk a little bit about what's going on with our dogs and our animals and all kinds of in-betweens. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Dr. Levi Embry, I know you're here with us today to talk a little bit more about a furry friend for your furry friend. Kind of just diving in, we're almost through August, which obviously means it's National Clear the Shelters movement, and it's nearing its close. So tell me a little bit about what you know about Clear the Shelters.
Oh, I don't know very much about it at all, actually. I was hoping you could tell me something about it.
Well, I mean, obviously Clear the Shelters. You know, so many people in East Texas have either an adopted animal or they buy their animal. So I know Pets for People and Tyler, they're holding adoption events with all sorts of stuff. So you might be thinking, I already have a dog, I already have a cat, why do I need another one?
Yeah.
Well, what if your animal's lonely? So what are some big things to consider whenever someone is thinking about adopting?
Yeah. Obviously, the circumstances are going to vary from person to person, house to house, right? But yeah, one thing to consider is that there are a lot of those shelters. And I don't know the specifics about Pets for People or anything like that. I don't know exactly what status they're in these days. But a lot of shelters are kind of packed. They're overwhelmed. There are a lot more pets than what a lot of shelters have room for to take. They just don't have the facilities. They don't have the manpower. All of that. So, yeah, I think it would be a great thing to do. And if a lot of cases. You mentioned a furry friend for your furry friend. That's a good line. And yeah, they are social creatures, kind of like us, cats and dogs, even more so dogs, really. Yeah. So it's give it some thought.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about how dogs and cats tend to be more social creatures. I mean, I feel like it really depends on the breed too, because like my dog is a hunting dog, so he wants to go up and say hi to everybody, jump on everybody. Hey, what's going on? What do you smell like? And then there's some that are a little bit more fearful. So do those types of animals typically fare better with a herd or in isolation?
Yeah. Again, it varies a lot from breed, but also from dog to dog. But yeah, breed's a good one to think about because as much as we like to think that any dog can become a good house pet or a good solo pet or a good pack animal or something like that, behavioral genetics is a thing, especially in dogs who are specifically these breeds have been developed over time with specific purposes, a lot of them, and so yes, some dogs are going to do fine as a only pet. My dog's an only pet, but a lot of dogs will do well with a housemate, and sometimes you don't realize that until after you get it, right?
Yeah.
So then they're running together all the time. But one thing, dogs by themselves are a little more prone to anxiety typically. There can be altercations between dogs too. You see dog fights all the time. But yeah, if they get along great, that keeps them both happy. That's great.
Okay. Well, for people that this one's going to make me feel bad. For people that may be gone for their work day for 8 hours a day, how could that affect a pet at home? And I already know what my dog is doing. He's probably sitting by the door waiting for me to come home.
Yeah. I think those would be even better cases to consider getting a buddy for your pet.
I just can't afford a buddy. I can't afford a buddy. It's hard.
Take a leap of faith, and you might. So. But yeah, it would be those type of scenarios are especially, I think, a housemate to hang out with would be good.
Yeah. Okay, well, what about a pet that is left alone after another passes?
Yeah, I think that varies a lot. Sometimes we do see dogs that, their friend for 10 years or 12 years passes and they are an older dog, and sometimes they seem kind of depressed. I know it sounds kind of funny, but it's true. And then there are others that seem to adapt to the solo dog life pretty well. So again, it's hard to say, but I think it depends a lot on the dog, and then a lot probably on the owner and all that as well. So.
What are some negative impacts of loneliness that could happen to a dog or a cat?
Yeah, I'll talk mostly about dogs on this one because I think cats tend to do a little bit better as solo animals, right? They're not as social as dogs are. But dogs, a lot of times they can have destructive behaviors, and that can happen in a pack as well. Um, but sometimes they get bored, and then they start chewing on things, and sometimes it's self-destructive. Sometimes they can chew on themselves. A lot of times chewing is, they scratch and they chew, and that's part of an itch problem they might have. But it can also be a sign of anxiety.
Right. Yeah. Well, how could adopting another pet prevent some of these issues?
Yeah, if it gives them something to interact with. Most dogs, especially, they are social creatures. So having something to interact with helps them a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, what do I need to consider when it comes to compatibility between a new pet and my current pet?
Yeah, I don't know of any good indicators that you can look at and say, these two will go great together.
Right.
So I think that's something you just have to try and see. I would, feed them separately, especially at first. Sometimes they can be what we call guarding behavior, where they don't want to, share something or someone or food or something like that with the other dog. So watch out for those things, especially at first. But I think it's something you just have to try.
Okay. Are there any other tips or advice that people should know before they go out this Saturday, obviously, with Clear the Shelters? Someone might be adopting a pet.
Yeah, I think they should. I'll digress a bit, but I think it's easy for people to, especially with, I sometimes think our modern lives are kind of sometimes disassociated from the physical world around us. And so I think pets can kind of be like touching grass. It's good to kind of keep you in your bearings. And so and it's not that a lot of times people are afraid of the commitment, and it is true. Pets usually live for a while, but again, sometimes that's good for the person, and it can be good for your pet too, but it can be good for people. So if anybody's on the fence, I think they should give it a try.
A furry friend for your furry friend. And if I can't get one, y'all have to get one. That's how it has to work,
True.
Because I can't help. I can't really help it.
I think you're on the fence, though.
I am on the fence because I do want one, but I can't. I can't do it.
Think about it.
I can't. Anyways, Dr. Levi and Bree, thank you so much for joining us here today and giving us kind of a tidbit of information as we go into Clear the Shelters, and we're almost through August, so pretty cool. All right, thank you so much.